How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be going over a question called contains duplicate 2, and this is a question that's commonly asked by Google on LeetCode. So the problem description says, given an array of integers and an integer k, find out whether there are two distinct indices I and j in the array such that nums I is equal to nums j, and the absolute difference between I and j is at most k. So I feel like the wording is a little confusing. That's probably meant to kind of trip you up and make you a little bit nervous, but it's really not that bad. So basically we're looking for two of the same value that appear less than or equal to k distance apart in the array. So for example, in example 1 here, if this is our array, the number 1 appears twice, and these two 1s are 1, 2, 3 elements apart. 3 is k, so less than or equal to k, right? Because the absolute distance is at most k. So this is true. We'll just return true because we found two values such that they're two of the same value that occur less than or equal to k slots apart. So for example 2, it's the same kind of idea, right? So these two 1s appear one space away, so we return true. And here, there are no two elements that appear less than or equal to 2 spots away. Or 2 duplicates, I should say. Cool, so this sounds really scary. It kind of sounds complicated, but we basically need to keep track of two things, right? So we need to find a duplicate, so we need to figure out a way to determine if a number has already occurred, and then if it has, we need to remember the index at which it has occurred before. So whenever we need to remember if something has or hasn't occurred, this is probably a good time to use a hash map or a hash set. And in this case, we also, like we said, in addition, need to remember where it has occurred. So that means that for every integer that has occurred, we need to remember where, right? So we're going to need a hash map, not just a hash set isn't enough here because we need to store two pieces of information. So we'll make a hash map, and we said we're going to store the integer. So for example, we'll store like 1, and then we'll store the index that it occurs at. So in this example, it'd be 0. So we'll have an integer that maps to an integer. We'll call it map equals new hash map integer. And now we want to go through all the numbers. So for an I equals 0, well, I is less than nums.length, I plus plus. And now we want to do something, right? We want to figure out if the number has occurred before. So let's just store the current number. I always call it current equals nums I. And now we want to check, right? So if the map contains the key that we're on, so that'd be current. And in addition to that, if the index we're on, which is represented by I, minus map.get current, because we know it already occurred, right? So it's definitely in our map. If that value is less than or equal to k, then we can return true. Otherwise, if either of these aren't true, we just want to place the number in the map. So we'll say else map.put current, and we'll put it at whatever index we're on. So if we find something, we're going to return true eventually, right? So we'll go through like this example, and we'll put 1 in the hash map at 0, 2 in the hash map at 1, 3 in the hash map at 2, and then we'll see 1, right? And we're at index 0, 1, 2, 3 now. So 3 minus 0 is 3. That's less than or equal to k, so we return true. Awesome. So if we find something that the two numbers, if we find what we're looking for, we're going to return true. So if we never hit this, and we go through the entire array, we can simply return false. So let's check out the solution, make sure it works. Awesome, it does. Let's check out the details now. And the details tell us we passed 23 out of 23 test cases, and we're in the 28th percentile in terms of runtime. So that's how you solve contains duplicate 2 on LeetCode. I hope this was helpful. If it was, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Good luck on all your interviews, and I'll see you guys next time.